Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel SummarizedAI. As part of this video, we will talk about LangChain and see its core idea and implementing it in action. There are multiple advantages of using LangChain. Let's try to understand. Suppose when you ask ChatGPT or Gemini a question, it usually replies based only on what it is trained on. But what if you want your AI to access your own data, search live information, or perform real actions like summarizing a document, analyzing a file, or let's say even calling an API? That's where LangChain comes in picture. LangChain is nothing but an open source framework designed to make large language models like ChatGPT, Claude, or Llama more powerful, useful, and interactive. It gives developers the tools to connect large language models with real world data, APIs, and custom workflows. Let's imagine a scenario. You have built an AI powered content summarize app using OpenAI's ChatGPT-4 through LangChain. It's working beautifully fine, but your app is growing fast and costs are becoming a concern. Then one day, Google announces that Gemini Pro API or the other Gemini model is now cheaper or even free for developers. Then, of course, you would want to switch, but does that mean rewriting your whole app? Will you be going for that? Rewriting your whole application again? No, you are not. That's where you will use this particular LangChain, correct? And this is one of the coolest things about LangChain is how effortlessly you can switch between different LLMs at any point of time, like moving from OpenAI's ChatGPT 4 to Anthropic's Cloud or even your local Ollama model without rewriting your whole app. Now, let's get back to our Visual Studio and implement simple LangChain application calling OpenAI and Gemini from LangChain. Okay, let's go back to the Visual Studio, add a file, LangChain underscore one dot py. Okay. Now, before we start our implementation, okay, we require some Python library that you can say package in our local. So the first one is pip install langchain underscore OpenAI as we are going to use that. And the other one is langchain underscore core. Okay. So both the command we have to run on our command prompt. Okay. So let me get that command prompt here. So I will be going back to documents and then summarized AI, LangChain. Okay, great. Say CMD. And inside it, we're gonna say pip install. We can run this command in any folder, no issues until and unless you are not creating a virtual environment or you require a project specific dependencies. Okay, let's run this. I'm already having this particular library in my local. I'm just rerunning this line. Okay. Now, apart from this one, we require one more, which is pip install LangChain core. Okay. Once we have these libraries in our local, now we can go ahead and start our implementation. Okay. So I will comment this one and let me start the implementation. I would be saying import LangChain underscore OpenAI import OpenAI. Okay, so this way we can import OpenAI. Okay, so it should be from, sorry. Okay, now if you go next, we can say from LangChain underscore core dot prompts. To provide a prompt, we gonna go and get the prompt template. Okay, we have imported OpenAI and we have imported the prompt template. Now, apart from this one, we will require an API key to connect with OpenAI. So for that, what we can do is, I have already explained this, but I can go again. You can say ChatGPT API key. Okay. Now here you will go to platform.openai.com. Now from here, you can click on this create. Just provide the name and click on create. Will give you the key. So let me create one key. Test key 1. Okay. The key got created. You can copy this key and paste it here. Okay. Let's do that in the double code. I have pasted this key. Now, once we have this key, which will allow us to connect with OpenAI, let's create an LLM calling. So LLM equal to OpenAI, and we have to provide two things. So if you are going to call OpenAI Gemini, you always have to provide two things. The very first thing is the model, which we are going to use the LLM model. So I'm going to use ChatGPT 4 mini. Okay. And apart from this one, we have also provide API key. So API key equal to API key. So this API key I have provided here. Okay. Now I can say API key value for not to make everyone confused. So this is nothing but a key and this is the value. Now, once we have this, we can say prompt, okay, equal to prompt template dot prompt template. We can say explain Python in one line. Okay, this is going to be our prompt. Now, if I try to run this particular code as is, okay, you can see this particular prompt will get print. Let it get print and then we will see the output. So it will generate a prompt on our behalf. Oh, okay, it is showing an error. LangChain.core.prompts from prompt template. It should be T. Okay. Yep, it should be T. Mistake, typo. Okay. Let me clear the console and read it again. Yep. Yes, so it has created the prompt for us. It's saying input values as nothing, input type is nothing. We have this template having this particular value. Okay, now once we have this particular prompt template, we can create a prompt format. Okay, so we can say prompt, let me correct the spelling, prompt dot format. Okay, so which format? We are saying topic is equals to artificial intelligence. Okay, great. Now we will keep this in one of the variables. We can say final underscore prompt. So this is our final prompt. Now it's our final step where we are going to say LLM dot invoke. Now we are going to invoke that particular LLM. So LLM is nothing but OpenAI LLM, which we are going to invoke. And this is my prompt. And we are expecting a response from this LLM. Okay. Now, once we have the response with us, what we're gonna do is we're gonna say response dot content because it will be giving it will be giving a lot of values as part of the response. So we just want to have that content out of that response. Now let's execute this code and you will see the output. Yep. RESPONCE is the spelling correct? Yeah, RESPONCE is correct. Content is correct. What is the issue? Let's see that. Okay. Let me print the response only. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I see the response is here. Complete response. Okay, it has directly given us the response string, so which is good. Okay. Now if you see, we wrote a code, LangChain code, where we called the OpenAI and provided all the configuration related to OpenAI, and then we we made a prompt and passed that, and we got the response. But now, if suppose we wish to switch from LangChain OpenAI to Gemini, okay, how we can go with that? It's very easy. Okay, the very first thing is we require the package. What package required? Here we have used LangChain underscore OpenAI. Here we are going to say LangChain underscore Google underscore Gen AI. Okay. And the same package we are going to install here, pip install LangChain Gen AI. It will install for us. Now langchain.core.prompts will be there and we are going to say dot prompt. Okay. Now in place of OpenAI, we are gonna say chat Google generative AI. Now let's copy this here and we can replace this one. Correct. Now we have replaced this. We have to get the Gemini LLM model. So we are going to use here Gemini hyphen 2.0 hyphen flash. Okay. Now, once we have this, we wish to have the Google API key also. And it is the same way like we got for ChatGPT, we can get for the Google Gemini also. I am having that particular key already with me. So I'm going to use that one. API key value. Okay. So here we have OpenAI, sorry, Google, and then here we have Google key. This is from Google. Okay, that's fine. We have just updated the credentials. Okay. Now, and point to be noted here, I'm giving these credentials hard coding here because I know this video is seen by like the fresher and the experienced. So I don't want anyone to get confused. That's why I'm keeping this here. Or else we can keep it as part of operating system, also system variables, or we can have one YAML also. I don't want to get confused everyone. That's where I'm hard coding this value here. But if you're trying to use the same credential, it will not work because after publishing this video or at the time of publishing, I'm going to delete this particular key. Yep. So let me go ahead and execute this piece of code. Let's see what happens. You would see we have just updated the configuration, this, the key, and the model. You see, we got the response. Python is versatile and all. Okay, if I do this content, okay, it will give me the sorry output string only. Yeah, it will not give us this all these feedback and all. So yeah, it gave me this. Python is versatile, high language, high level programming language, blah 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 blah. We got it. Okay, so this is where we can use different LLM models at the same time. We can switch in between the models also. Okay, and this is how we can use LLM models with LangChain. Okay, great. Now with LangChain, we have one more thing to understand, which is chaining, okay, which we call as chaining. Okay, now what this chaining is all about? In simple word, chaining is in LangChain means connecting multiple AI steps or component together so that the output of one step becomes the input of the next step, just like a relay race. So it's called a chain because data flows through different stages: prompt creation, model call, or response formatting, etc. Okay. Now think of it like this. Imagine you're baking a cake. Okay. Now step one is to gather ingredients. Step two is to mix them. Step three is to bake. Step four is to decorate. Each step depends on the output of the previous one. That's exactly what LangChain's chaining does, but with the text, data, or reasoning steps instead of cake batter. Okay, so for example, in my next example, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to have one prompt, okay, just to summarize any topic. Now we will be using one of the LLM model with the help of LangChain. It will give us the response, the summarization of that topic. Now that response or the summarization will be an input of our next prompt where we wish to convert that summary into 3 points. Okay, only 3 points. Now again, LangChain we will be using with one of the LLM model, and that particular LLM model will give you the response having 3 points out of that summary for that particular topic. Okay, so this is what we are going to implement. So let's go back to our Visual Studio and create one more file, langchain underscore 2 dot py. Okay. Now here again the same thing. We are going to import from langchain underscore OpenAI import chat OpenAI. Okay. Now we have to import the prompts also. So we're gonna say langchain dot core dot prompts import chat prompt template. Okay. Now we will require the output parcels also. I will tell you like what is the output parser, which helps us to, parse and process the output, what we are getting from the LangChain model. We will see that, but let me import that and we will be importing it from the LangChain core output parser, import str output parser. Okay, great. Now here again, I require a API key. Okay, again, I'm going to the API key value. Okay, now for not to confuse everyone. Now API key we are already having here. So what I'm gonna do here is let me get from some other because I have overridden that code. Fine. Now we got this key here. Now after this, once we have key, we are going to give a variable as topic. What topic we are going to give? Okay, the value. Either it can be any country, it can be related to any car or anything, any topic. If we are going to provide value, it will give the summary and the 3 pointers for that particular summary. Okay. As of now, I'm going to say like um, India, for example. Now LLM equals to, if I say chat OpenAI, and then inside it, I'm going to pass model again, the same thing, double quotes, GPT-4 mini. Okay. Here we got our LLM. Now we have to pass the API key also here. So we're gonna say API key value. Okay. Now our LLM model is ready. Now we required output parser. So we're gonna say parser equal to output parser. Now, once we have this, we're gonna go get an chat prompt template dot prompt template. It should be. from underscore template template. And here I'm going to pass summarize the topic. Okay. Now here I'm going to pass the topic as a variable, which we are going to pass from line number 7. Now we got this one. Now topic, and it should be double quote ending here. Sorry, my fault. Because it's a variable, it can come in between the double quote. So here I'm going to say LLM equal to, yeah, LLM, I got it. So chat prompt template. So this will be our summary prompt equals to. Okay. Now, once we got the summary, we have to chain. Okay. So we have to connect different components. Like we have prompt, we have LLM ready. Okay. And we have the parser. Okay. So let's do that. So summary underscore, I'm going to say chain equals to summary prompt, then LLM, then again, it is going to be a parser. Okay. Now we have these things ready with us. Now it will give me the output. So for that, what we have to do, we have to say summary underscore chain dot invoke. This is what we did last time. Okay, invoke. And here I'm going to provide the topic. Okay. And the topic is going to be the same what is coming from the top. Okay. So this is topic what we got here. Now we can print summary here. No worries. So it is going to return as a summary as in response. I can say summary underscore response or summary is also fine. No issues. Now, once we have this summary, which is an output from this particular um, code, okay. Now, this particular output is going to be an input for some other prompt. So let's do that. So now I'm going to say chat prompt template dot prompt template, and here I'm going to pass, or I'm going to say convert summary, okay, summary into 3 points, okay, or I would say 3 short points, so it will not give the long points. Now we have this one. Now again, think what we did here. We are gonna do the same thing. So we are gonna say the points prompt, for example. Now here I'm gonna say points prompt, or points chain I'm going to say, because prompts we are already having. So we got the prompt here. Now we are going to give prompt chain equal to points underscore prompt, and then same LLM we are going to use, which means we can use the OpenAI here, and for this one we can use the Gemini also, but I'm going to use both same just to save time. And then we are going to say parser. Okay. Now in the last, we are going to invoke that particular chain. So points underscore chain dot invoke. Okay. And inside it, we are going to pass summary. So this thing and this thing here, summary, and then it should going to be a column summary. Okay. So this summary came here from here also. Now, once we have this, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna print points. Okay, let me print first point. Also clear this console. Let's execute this code. Let's see what it says. So it will be calling these LLM models one by one. What it is saying input chat prompt template is missing for the topic. Okay. Mm-hmm. Let me run again. Great. It gave us 3 points. First, second, and this one third. Okay. Now there is one more point to be noted. If I go back here, I got the summary. Okay, so I'm gonna say print summary. Okay, and it between this, I'm going to print this to differentiate. I'm going to get this here. Okay, so let's run it again and see what it says. So this is coastal regions. Okay, yep. If you see, it got executed and we got this as a summary here. Okay, and after getting the summary, from this particular summary, it created the 3 points for us, first, second, and third. Okay, and that's how the link chain works. So the output of one response will be the input of another response, and this way we can have like the third chain also. Okay, so the second output can be a input for third one. Okay, or mix and match kind of. Yep. So this is how the chaining works in the LangChain. Yep. And this is it we have for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found this video helpful and want to see more video in AI, don't forget to like and click on the notification bell icon to stay updated and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video. Till then, bye bye.